Hey, here I am. Oh, let's get comfy. Whee. Okay. Oh, tea's gone a bit cold. Hi guys, I hope you're all doing okay. So today's video I'm going to focus on answering some of the questions that you've sent me regarding lots and lots of different things, whether it's to do with heavy periods or fibroids or medication or changing of lifestyle. So I'm going to answer lots of questions today. Some of them so much aren't questions that I've discussed with you guys. They've been more to do with experiences and just general discussion. But I just wanted to bring up a few of the topics today just to go through with you guys and hopefully help everybody, help each other out. And then we can go from there. Because as you all know, if you've been here before, I like to try and discuss things together so that we can start discussion, open discussion, and talk things through together, and then not have that stigma of the sort of conversations that we talk about. We talk about heavy periods. We talk about lots, quite private things, but if we talk about it quite openly, it becomes less of a stigma. And that is the idea of my channel, is that I want to start that discussion with you guys. And, in the comments, in messages that I receive from you, which I absolutely love getting, that we're all out there, in different countries, different parts of the world, but we're all having same kind of issues. And I think it's just so important to be open and honest. To know there's other people out there that are in the same situation, that want, and then to help each other. And I think that is just it. It's just we need to help each other. So hopefully today I can help you guys. You can help me. Just thinking of putting the questions together earlier. I've got my book. I felt that. It feels great because it makes me feel like I'm not on my own. I'm not the only one that understands what I'm going through, because I can have discussions with people I know, but unless you experience those things yourself or know somebody that is, it's really difficult. And it's just really nice knowing you guys are out there to be able to talk things through. So we better start the questions. I've got my cup of tea. It's got a bit cold, but still tastes good. So let's go. So the first thing I wanted to discuss is that I've been asked before whether I've considered taking the contraceptive pill. So I'm 35 years of age, and I have taken the pill for many, many, many years. Since I was in my late teens, I was on the contraceptive pill. I think that's quite a common thing in the UK, where doctors tend to put women on the contraceptive pill for many reasons. Obviously as a contraceptive, firstly and foremost, but secondly, I think it is for a lot of women, and I think for myself at the time, it was to just have more control over your periods, your monthly cycle. I felt that the contraceptive pill kept my periods very regular. I could plan better. It meant I knew when they were going to come, and it just filled me with a bit more confidence. So I was on it for many, many years. I found one that I stayed with for a long, long time, and I felt, it was good. I never had any side effects, which was great. I had a regular period, which was brilliant. But when I started this journey that I'm going to then continue going forward, where I don't want to pump in artificial hormones into my body because I don't want it to affect my hormones. I want to try and eliminate as much going into my body that can unbalance. I came off. And being 35 now, it's obviously that little bit older where I know I'd still be able to go on it, but it's obviously the doctors would be a little bit more wary about putting me on it, or perhaps the type of pill I go on. But like I say, I have tried it. I've been on it. I was on it for many years. Obviously had to come off at times when I was due surgery, because you couldn't have it leading up to surgery on removal of fibroids. Lots of things like that. I've tried it. Haven't tried it for a while. Possibly would try it again. But I'm going to try this whole, like I mentioned in my last video, more of a health kick, trying to avoid putting artificial things like hormones into my body, to try and control it, and to try and control hormone balance through healthy eating, lifestyle, reducing like plastic, you know, exposure to plastics, all of those things. So at the moment, no, but I wouldn't say no forever. So that's my next question I've been asked is, how do you anticipate having your period in a good way, so that it's not a hassle when it starts? So what I understand from this question is that, obviously, like many of you out there that I know suffer from the same symptoms, knowing that your period is going to be ridiculously heavy each month, you need to prepare. And you know it's going to be a hassle, you know it's going to be stressful, you know it's going to be an inconvenience, all of those things that I think you need to plan. So what I felt like I've done for a long time now is I plan what I'm doing when. So if I know that I'm due on my period next week, I would not plan to do something which involved me being out of my normal routine, but not knowing where I can easily access like toilet facilities, that I'm not anywhere where I would panic that I couldn't get to the toilet in time if I needed it, if I was unwell, if I didn't feel great, that I just kept my stress levels as low as possible. So just to make sure that I have a week that I know that I can spend time, relax, chill, that I haven't got too much planned, not too much on, that if it does come, I can cope with it. So I know that I've still got to go to work every day or work from home, that I've still got to do the tasks, cleaning, cooking, and just daily tasks and things. But there's nothing else there that would then cause me that real stress that I think, oh my golly. So what I would say from that question is that I plan when I'm due on, and to make sure that I'm as stress-free and prepared as possible for when it does happen, the monthly hell. So yeah, so that'd be my answer to how would you anticipate having your period in a good way. So it would be to be prepared and all of those things. And I think as long as you're prepared, if you've got all of the protection you need in place, you know that you haven't got anything too big on that week, and you feel like you can get through this, you'll be fine. I did a review a few weeks ago on the period delay tablet, which again I don't want to be pumping these hormones into my body, but I had a week where I couldn't have my period. I had too much on. I would have been stressed up to my eyeballs. So instead I tried this period delay tablet, and that did work, but I would only use that on desperate cases. But again, if that's something that would help you feel less stressed or concerned or worried or anxious, if you had something big coming up and your period was due on, I would recommend looking into that period delay tablet. So number 3, how to reduce heavy period flow, how to reduce heavy flow through self-care and food. So this is what I'm going to be doing on my new journey, which I mentioned in my last video. I am going to change my way of living, my lifestyle, to try and help my body as much as possible the natural way. So if you guys know me, I'm vegan already. I've been vegan for nearly a year now. Prior to that, I was pescatarian, and before that I had actually cut out dairy as well. So one of them, when I've visited a nutritionist in the past, she said that dairy is one of the worst things for hormone imbalance. So I cut out dairy quite a while ago. I then cut out eggs and fish, and then it was quite natural for me to go vegan after that, because I'm thinking, you know, I've cut out all of those things. I've cut out the things that I really enjoyed, which was the cheese. Cheese was my favourite thing, followed by cream cakes. Because I'd done that already, I thought the rest was going to be easy. So about a year ago, I decided to try it. I've actually found it relatively easy. I think it's because I'd been for a few years, I'd been pescatarian or vegetarian at one point. So it was just that last part of the journey where I had to cut out just the rest of the dairy, make sure I'd cut it out completely, the eggs, the fish obviously, and I was there. And I've never been tempted at the moment to eat anything that wasn't vegan. It's really odd to say that, you know, I'm tempted, you know, like I always think, wow, I miss macaroni cheese, which was one of my favourite things in the world, or oh, I really fancy like lemon meringue pie, or a cheesecake, and I fancy it, but that doesn't mean I'd ever go out and eat it. It's really strange. I would have thought that I would really fancy and then need it, but I don't know if I physically could eat it now, if that makes sense. So if anybody out there is thinking of changing to that lifestyle, let me know, because I'm really happy. I'd be really happy to help anybody with that, going that bit further. So originally I went vegan because I wanted to then be able to cut out the, you know, to make my body healthy, to have the less dairy. Obviously the meat I had cut out a few years ago anyway, because obviously the hormones that are pumped into meat, the hormones that are pumped into dairy, all of those things, I didn't want to put anything artificial back into my body if I didn't need to. So that was my reasoning behind it. So then going forward with my new project, I'm going to obviously then look at more at what supplements and things I can also introduce that will help. Things like castor oil packs, systematic enzymes I've heard of before, so I'm going to try all of those things. But definitely from the question where it says obviously transitioning into a veggie lifestyle from being pescatarian. Yeah, so reducing heavy flow through self-care and food. It's going to be a journey. It's been, especially through the COVID crisis, it's been very easy to revert back to majority of the time a very healthy lifestyle, but then still having those days where you think, I want junk, I want rubbish, I want sugar, I want fat, I want all of those things, and having an unhealthy dinner, having puddings and chocolate and tea. Caffeine's the other thing they're going to reconsider. And so it's all of those things which in my upcoming project is going to be, I think, tough, because I felt obviously I've cut out so much already, so tough in a way in that it's some of my favourite things, but easy in another way because I'm quite used to not having the dairy and, you know, those things already. So that's how I'm going to go. So number 4 is tracking positive outcomes. So this means how will I go about tracking positive outcomes from making those changes to my lifestyle. So I'm going to do a daily like a video diary on that, and obviously show you guys and keep you guys updated with that. So I'm going to do a video diary to say what I found works, what I found made me feel better, if it does make any changes to my periods and the flow, and actually how I feel in general. Is my iron levels going to be better? All of those things. So I'm going to track it through mostly a video diary, but I also will be probably having like a little diary. I'm going to write things of changes I've made, how I felt, symptoms, and things like that. So number 5, so transitioning into a veggie lifestyle from being pescatarian. So one of you lovely guys out there asked about that they are currently pescatarian but looking to transition into a vegetarian lifestyle. So they're just going to cut out the eggs and fish, but already cut out the dairy. So as I've just said, I just, you know, well done, because I found the dairy the hardest part, and because you've done that already, you're almost there. You are almost there, because if you're anything like me, where you loved your cheese and things like that, you're almost there. If you've cut out the bits that you love the most, you can do anything, and you will be absolutely fine. So go for it. If there are any slip-ups or you revert back or anything, don't work yourself up about it. Don't get yourself down about it. We all do that to start with. You know, you can do your best, and just think, if you even made those changes sort of 90% of the time and stuck to have a vegetarian lifestyle, and then you have something that isn't, what does it matter? You should do what's best for you. And as long as you're happy with what you're doing, you are getting you're seeing the benefits from that. What does it matter what anybody else thinks? What does it matter? So I really hope your journey is successful, but please let me know if you've got anything you'd like to talk about, or any questions or anything like that, and I'll be really, really, really happy to help. And I also know that you mentioned that you stopped soy, which again is really difficult when you are eliminating things from your diet. It is then very easy to want to keep other things in, even if you know they're not good for you, because otherwise you feel like you are limiting yourself too much. So you are doing so well, so well. Keep it up. You'll be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So number 6, I had a question. Well, it wasn't so much a question, it's more of a comment. But I did respond, and I just hope, you know, I can help. So somebody said to me that they have a myoma, which is obviously is a fibroid, but they can't afford the medication. So I am probably in a really you know, I'm really, really lucky, because here in the UK we have the NHS system, the National Health System, which means our healthcare is free. So we are extremely lucky. Although we obviously have to pay in on taxes and things, we are extremely lucky. Apart from, we do have to pay for prescriptions, so, but that isn't you're not breaking the bank. So here in the UK we are extremely fortunate, and so I'm extremely fortunate that when I went on the Esmya tablet, which I've mentioned in a few of my videos before, which stops your period to help reduce the size of fibroids to then help further treatment. When I was put on that, it only cost me the cost of the prescription, you know, all of my appointments with my consultant and everything, all included in the the National Health System. So I literally only had to pay for the prescription. So I'm extremely fortunate compared to, I know a lot of you guys out there where you're not in the same boat. So over here we just had to pay the prescription costs. Unfortunately, obviously Esmya, like many of you know, and in the same boat, was recalled, and so we're all in limbo at the moment, waiting to see our consultants, our gynecologists, to see what the next steps are. But it's so sad to me that other people don't have access to that same care because of money. I know, it's just, you know, it's difficult for us Brits to comprehend, because we are extremely fortunate, and I really feel for you guys out there. So another person mentioned to me that, again, about the Esmya tablet. So the Esmya was obviously to control and reduce fibroids, which was recalled earlier this year because of potential side effects of liver failure, which isn't good. So once somebody said to me, I hope with Esmya, and I had hope with Esmya. So when Esmya was introduced and prescribed, she had hope. Actually, I think it was referring to her mother that had the fibroid, and her mother was prescribed Esmya, that she had hope for her mum. But when it was obviously recalled, now got little hope. Don't know what's going to happen next, and I really feel and know what your family are going through, because when Esmya was introduced, it seems like a miracle, that, you know, I went without a period for 2 months, which then brought up my iron levels, which then made me feel a lot better, and I didn't have all the symptoms like as if I was coming on my period, which is all the uncomfortableness, that just, you know, distended abdomen area and then all that. I didn't have any of that, so it was working miracles. And then hopefully after the year's course, you'd see, obviously, you'd feel better, and you'd hope that there was some reduction in the fibroid size and all of those things. So when it was recalled, it was horrible, because I hadn't had the chance to see any of the benefits, and then obviously I came back on my period as if nothing had ever happened. So I do really feel for us all. And then COVID hit. You know, this happened back in February, March, and then COVID hit. So we're all still waiting to see, as I mentioned, all our gynecologists and consultants, to see what the next steps are, because we've all just been taken off of this medication and then left to fend for ourselves, it seems. So, so that was it, really. So another lady got in contact with me to say that she didn't know what to do. She had been told to come off of the Esmya because it had been recalled, but then didn't want to because of the good things it was doing. And then what did she think I should do? So obviously I'm not a medical professional, and I explained that. But from my own experience, I was told straight away to go and have my bloods checked, to check that there was no signs of the liver damage, which is what it was originally recalled for because of the potential side effects. So I urged her to go and seek medical advice, to come off the tablet, to then go and seek medical advice to have your bloods taken, just to check there's no permanent damage. And I hope she's all okay. But yeah, it's just, yeah, we're all in limbo at the moment, because say COVID hit, and yeah. Another lady contacted me to say that it was her last chance saloon. So the Esmya tablet was like her last chance before being offered a hysterectomy. So I can quite understand. In my experience, many of the consultants I've seen over the years have been very quick to try and taught me to try and encourage me to take more permanent action, and one of those obviously being a hysterectomy. They've never said that to me directly because of they've in the past, obviously my age, that I hadn't had children yet. They didn't want to do anything drastic, and so it had to be just preventative. So it used to have to be just take out the fibroids as much as you can and all of these things, but nothing permanent. But it's always a hint, always a hint. Every time that I've gone to see a consultant, it's almost like, what can we do that will just solve it all? Okay, do they understand that a woman doesn't want all of her, you know, her womanly parts taken away just because of these pesky growths? I know they cause a lot of aggro. I know they cause a lot of problems. Cost a lot, I suppose, with all the treatment. But in today's day and age, surely there's something other they can do other than take everything out, but that just seems to be, I don't know, it just seems to be what they suggest. You know, it's just scary. And this is why I want to go down more of a holistic approach, because I don't want to be messed about anymore. I've had 2 lots of surgeries to have fibroids removed, and they've just grown back. So what was, I almost think, what is the point? You know, what is the point of putting me under, removing these fibroids, causing more scar tissue, just for them to grow back again a year later? It just seems pointless to me. So the only option I feel is to take it into my own hands and try and help myself as naturally as possible. So that's where I'm coming from. And lastly, what have we all been doing really during COVID and with treatment of fibroids? So as I've already mentioned, obviously COVID hit earlier this year, and all that kind of hospital appointments, all those sort of things were put on hold. Esmya was recalled, and therefore, you know, it's like, what do we do next? And again, this is why I'm going to try to take things into my own hands, because I don't know when I'm next going to see my consultant. I haven't seen her for forever, since the beginning of this year. So I'm not going to see her. I need to do something. I can't carry on every month how I am. You know, it controls my life. It affects my life. It's not fair. And so I've got to try and do something. I've recently read an article actually from somebody that did do something very similar, and this is where I've taken my inspiration from, where a few years ago she was about in her mid-30s, large fibroids. Doctor just suggests, you know, more drastic approaches, hysterectomy for example, and she didn't want to do that. So she did drastic changes to her lifestyle, to her diet, to her supplements, and found that her fibroids naturally decreased in size. And this is what I'm hoping for. So this is where I'm going to start my journey. Yeah, it's going to be really tough, I think. But I've got to do something, and I feel like there's loads of you out there in the same boat as me. It's that what can we do? We're just waiting for basically for doctors, for consultants, just to tell us what we don't want to hear, because that's what they go to medical school to learn how to provide people with medical treatment. You know, whether it's tablets, whether it's intervention of some sort. We don't particularly want that. We don't want that invasive, really invasive procedures just for things to grow back again. You know, what's the point? So I would say during the COVID, I think we've just had to take care of ourselves as much as possible, do whatever we can to make ourselves feel better, keep our spirits up. That's the hard one. And then see what else we can do going forward. But I hope some of this has helped you guys today. Sorry I've rambled on quite a bit today, but I just really wanted to just try and help as much as I can. But if you've got any further questions or comments or anything you'd like to discuss, please put them in the comments below, because as I say, I really enjoy talking with you guys, discussing all of our issues together, because I feel that a lot of us are in very similar situations, and it's just nice to know there's others out there. So please get in contact if you've got anything you'd like to discuss, or is there anything I didn't cover today, or you feel that you had a different experience. I'd really like to hear. But for now, guys, please take care of yourselves and have a lovely weekend. As I say, I will be on very soon, as I said in my last video, with my journey, the start of my journey onto the change. So that would be really, really interesting, really exciting, quite daunting, difficult. I'm enthusiastic. Yeah, but we can do it. But if we're together, we've got each other's support, we can do anything, can't we, guys? But anyway, take care for now, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.